Coming to you live from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for round 6 of the Tier 1 of the Breakout Racing League Season 5. Daniel Stevens alongside here with John Webster. Ready to get this thing going here tonight. John, good to have you back. What do you think we're going to expect out of this race? You were just racing, weren't you?
Danny, it's very good to be back. I'm excited for this race. I'm excited to be back in the booth for Tier 1, filling in for our guy Dylan. Tonight we got an exciting race here. We're at Spain this week. It's going to be very interesting to see about these tire compounds and qualifying.
All right, well, just for our viewers who are going to be coming in here later, make sure to include good overtaking positions here on the racetrack, because that is not many here. We all know that this is a very tough track to pass on. But we'll hear maybe some of your experience here tonight to help us through that. Either way, we got Boss Cookie out here right now on his outlap. A few other drivers as well, Ginger Horizon and Chandler Seda. Chandler's someone who we should be expecting to go a bit quicker than he has been so far this season. Get word that he's been really practicing for this one. Setting some good banker times here in practices earlier in the day. Down in 12th in points right now. Best finish of 6th. Definitely not the Chandler we're used to seeing here. Maybe he can get things sorted out here in round 6 from Spain. Almost said China right there. We're not there anymore, are we?
No, we are not. Spain is a completely different track from China, especially with the lack of passing opportunities around this track. The only one that I see...
That's kind of similar to China, not going to lie.
Well, China's got a couple DRS straights. Here we only have one DRS straight down into turn 1. The run down into turn 1. And these drivers are really going to look for some moves during the race there, and it can be quite sketchy with the close proximity of the cars going down there, Danny. So the grid spot tonight really matters in qualifying.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we do know this is one of the longest runs down from the front of the grid to turn 1, and we know craziness can happen when you're up to that much speed with a heavy braking zone coming up. So yes, you definitely want to be ahead of that going into the first corner. And someone who's really looking to get ahead of that is Boss Cookie here tonight. He's also someone expecting to have a good session. He's had some very good pace here. A 13.9, I believe, in time trial. Very good lap time there. And that's around where we expect pole position to be here tonight. Take a look at Ryan, drivers of the typical caliber as well, BRL Pirandi, guys like that to set a 13.9. As I say that, Boss Cookie goes really wide right there, loses the back end mid-chicane, approaching turn 9. It's going to put a damper on that lap, but it is still very early.
Yeah, you can lose about 3 to 4 tenths just right through that sector if you're just a little bit too wide, and it will definitely ruin your lap. But, I mean, he's on the medium tires. This is his first go at it. He's backed out of it now, but the first couple of sectors, he was flying out there. Like you said earlier, his time trial time. And look at that, Chandler Seda up on the board.
Faster than Pirandi. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying it. Chandler looking to have a good session here already up top. 14 minutes left in this session, though. A lot of time that can get beaten by. But 1:14.4 is strong, especially since that's 3 tenths quicker than Pirandi, who you know is very, very quick. Neymar to 3rd, and Boss Cookie, yes, that slide really did cost him 20.9, not the kind of lap time he's looking for at all. Always a lot of time here for him to improve, obviously, so not the biggest worry in the world. DRC Jared coming across the line right here. Looks like he's in okay. He just sweeps completely 4 tires off the track into the grass right there. Not too sure what that was all about. Looks like he was giving up on that lap anyway. Yeah, Treedome and some guys still in the pits. Not everyone out here early. You don't have to just yet, as Hoopalish is coming across the line now. He's been quick this season. 4th place, 1:15.1. 1 tenth off of Ginger, who just went up to 3rd. Had a bit of a rainbow effect going there. 1 through 4 right there, John, in the colors.
Yeah, we do. Right now I'm on board with B-Dunk, who is down in 12th. He hasn't set a lap yet, and he's actually backed out. So he had a tough first couple of corners. I saw him down into turn 1. Got a little bit on the grass, and the car just kind of, didn't turn for him there. So he's going to go again at some point. Driver that I'm looking forward to watching tonight. I know he's got some decent pace here at Spain.
Yep, and for you viewers, we've just turned on the graphic. You can now see whether the lap has been invalidated or not. On the right side of your screen, you will see the track map lit up in red when that happens. On the left, you can now see the best tire that they have used, fastest lap, I should say, what tire they ran during that lap. And you can see 2 of them have used the medium so far, that being Neymar and Boss Cookie. Number 1, FinFan, also on a lap right now in his Alpha using those yellow walls. So, John, is there really that much strategy advantage by starting on the medium tire?
There definitely is, Danny. I feel like the medium tire is very vital at the start of the race. I know in Tier 2 it really didn't end up like that. There was a couple safety cars at the beginning, which can be possible tonight here in Tier 1. But the medium hards is medium 2 hards, excuse me, I cannot speak tonight. That's very quick around here. The softs, after a couple laps, maybe it's really off a cliff, and you're stuck out there with the hards for a long time. So I feel that the mediums to hards is the best thing to see, something because track position.
Yeah, well, obviously some guys who are really taking consideration of that medium run is FinFan. He just moves up to 5th place. Very good lap time there for him. The 4 are all on those red wall softs, obviously, so we're going to be seeing some of those guys on that worst longer once the race gets going. That'll be interesting to see how it accordions the feet. Either way, BRL Williams out here on an outlap right now. For Ferrari, who didn't realize that until very recently. Either way,
yeah,
that
Danny,
racing point, good run.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very interested to see what New Zealand Ryan does tonight. I know he showed the pace all year, and he is your point right now in Tier 1. I'm interested he goes on those mediums, because right now he did a couple laps on the softs and invalidated all of them. So he's going to be looking to go out.
Yeah, and I was just going to bring up Ryan myself. He's on a roll right now. After 2 second-place finishes, he has won 3 in a row coming into round 6 here tonight. Looking to four-peat mine, if you will, right there. He can win another race here tonight. That was dominant. I mean, with the amount of talent that we had added this season, I don't think anyone expected him to have a 39 lap by round 6. But he has done just that. He's defied the odds, as he tends to. So hopefully someone else can win here tonight. If you're looking for a tight battle all the way to the end of the win, is Alan Hugo, who's making his first start of the season here tonight. He's back in top BRL, always a good driver as well. Valid, though, he's going to have to go another time around if he wants to set one here, but down to 13th, obviously. 10 minutes left to go in the session. B-Dunk also on an outlap right there on his yellow wall medium. The Deer Hunter down there, still in the pits, hasn't set a lap time. That's odd for him, if you ask me.
It is. I'm watching Shida right now, our pole position driver, I guess you could say, as of now. He's going quicker.
Yeah, provisionally.
Yeah, provisionally. That's the word I was thinking of. I really couldn't think of it.
Oh, he clobbered the curb right there, John. That might stall him out.
Oh.
Yes, he does go in the pits.
But he was 8/100ths up through the second sector, so he was on a better lap. That's unfortunate for him, but we're watching Pirandi right now.
Here comes Pirandi, though, yeah, and his Renault. Let's see if he could dethrone Chandler right here across the line, and barely doesn't go on pole. 114.5. Only 1/10, just a bit more than a tenth behind Chandler right there. I think Pirandi does have pace to go quicker with 9 minutes left, but Chandler probably would have improved as well, so I still think Pirandi has some work to do here.
Yeah, this session's definitely going to heat up at the end of qualifying, and with some of these drivers not getting the max potential from their first runs, Danny.
Yeah. Well, some of you viewers here tonight are maybe not aware this track has been remodeled for F1 2020. We've got a new layout for the final couple corners here. A lot more flowing layout, if you ask me. The one from prior years, I don't know what Codemasters was looking at when they coded that into the game. But either way, you can see that final chicane is definitely different now. A lot wider, more flat, more profiled to be realistic. So thank God for that, and some of these drivers are really using those curbs, as we saw Chandler nailed it, and that ended his lap a second ago. So, John, is that something that these guys gotta get used to, is that new chicane, or do you think they've all got it down by now?
That new chicane is kind of tricky if you definitely go in there wrong. If you go in there just a little bit to the left and run up on that big sausage curve, your car gets so unsteady. That's what I'm looking for, unsteady.
Yeah.
And it's hard to regain it through, and you're losing time all the way down the back straightaway then. Another thing to look at here tonight, track limits.
No.
We all know about track limits, and especially here, there's a couple corners through Sector 2, through the hairpin.
Exit to turn 5, the hairpin, I was just about to say.
Exactly, and then going up to turn 7, that's another good spot that if you just touch the rubber, it's an automatic invalidation qualifying session for your lap.
I know, it's killer, especially turn 9, because you're kind of the momentum of that corner carries you out over the side, and it will instantly give you a punch in the throat, right? Kills your lap if you get that invalidation, and as we see during the race, it penalties. We were talking right there. B-Dunk went up to 5th place on me lap there for him, and he was just saying he did not expect much out of tonight. He's just hoping for some points. And also Hoopalicious, by the way, moving up into 3rd place from 4th. Ginger gets promoted down a spot, so he's got some work to do with 7 minutes left in the session to get that back. Parandi is all going out right here. Is that a bit strange?
It is. It is a little bit strange. I'm not sure. Maybe he went softer and it only has softs available. So he might be able to do 4 runs. I mean, there's 6 minutes and 46 seconds left. He might make it. In the chat, though, Interior Titan in the chat says, come on, Tier 1, give us a show. I think there's going to be a big show here tonight, Danny.
Oh, I hope you are right, because I've been warned since early in the week that this racetrack does not seem to be providing the most fruitful of action, but hopefully Tier 1, things will maybe be a bit more shaky here tonight. We got some guys like Deer Hunter who tend to make some very exciting overtakes, to say the least. Speaking of him, he's just invalidated his lap down at 16th. He still hasn't set one. Looks like he's about to get one going. Yes, he is. He throttles down as Chandler comes across the line to set a 1:14.1. Now, Forted's cleared Parandi with 6 minutes left. Did not know that he was on the racetrack. Knew Parandi was. It's very strange to see these guys out here with 6 minutes left going for a run, but I guess this will give them enough time to come in and put on another set of softs. I just didn't realize how many sets they actually have.
Yeah, I agree with you, but when you were talking about action earlier, if you wanted to see some action, you should have joined the Breakout Racing League at 8 o'clock for Tier 2. That was a fun race. I loved every second of it. As I'm watching Deer Hunter right now, Danny, he's going through Sector 2. He's going up turn 9 right about now at his racing point, looking real smooth. Hasn't set a lap though yet. Oh, that was a bit of a sketchy corner right there, but he keeps it valid, doesn't go too wide. Here is through turn 9, counter steer through turn 9. You never see that without a airplane crash, but he gets through there still with all 4 wheels on the ground. That's good stuff there from Deer Hunter, but it will cost him time. Here he is now coming through the long turn 12, with a million different apexes right there. No one really knows which one's the quickest to hit. But here he is now coming through the final chicane, as we were saying a minute ago. Very new to these guys this season, and he actually bails it out of the lap, even though it was still valid. So I think Deer Hunter, I think he realized that the lap was messed up enough after that half spin he almost had going through the high-speed corner of turn 9. And possibly some other mistakes. I don't think he thought it was worth it, but he does have time to put on another set of softs and give it another shot here. Danny, something that I'm looking at right now is BRL Williams, DRT Jared, and DSR Tralick. Some of the quickest drivers in Tier 1 are all down in 12th, 13th, and 14th. So they are definitely not. And look at that. DRC Jared has done 8 laps on the softs. So I think he's out there for a practice session. Maybe he didn't do. Maybe he's, he is the one that doesn't, is self-proclaimed no practicer, but I mean, he might just want some experience out there and go for a final run, but I was just kind of shocked
I do not know how we
didn't
notice that sooner. It's been 8 laps that he's been running out there on those softs. I mean, I'd expect him to pit right here. If he has any chance in setting a lap time now, at 3 minutes 45, if he continues and yes, here he is coming in the pits. If he continued for another, it would have been impossible. But he does have a chance here now. He's got 1 minute, probably about 1 minute 30 seconds to throw on another set of softs here, get the car ready for that final run. But yeah, it looks like a lot of these are going for those final runs, and the earliest of them all is Parandi, by the way, with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Still a lot of time there in racing time, You can give it another minute and a half before giving this final chance, but looks like he's going for it right now. As never mind, he ducks into the pits. That's a bit strange there for Parandi. Not sure why he did that outlap just to pit. Because those are the tires he was going to be doing a run on anyway. It's just a different strat. I've seen a lot of different things here in this practice session, or qualifying session, mind me.
Yeah, a lot of action. And we saw it earlier as well, but this is going to be a really good final couple of minutes. Danny, who do you have going on pole right now?
Right now, I'm taking a look at Chandler, man. He's been really quick, the session. I mean, as it continues, he just gets faster with the track. He did have that one invalidation, but he was able to answer it a minute later with a 4/10 improvement. So There he is at first right now. I think he will be your pole sitter. As for who wins the race, we'll get into that a little bit later. But Pirandi, there's a very good chance he could take it from him. John, do you think he can get it done?
I don't think so. I don't think Pirandi's going to get it done. I think New Zealand Ryan is going to shock the world, come out on some softs, and I think he's going to...
he does do that every now and then, doesn't he?
Hot
He
lap.
surprises you right at the end.
Yeah, and we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it before. But I think New Zealand Ryan is going to go out there and set in a flying lap. That's gonna put him
well,
on
before we
pole.
look at those final laps right here, we see Neon Tree Dome come around the final corner. Still hasn't set a real lap, though 1:19.4 is slow. Across the line, what's it going to be for him? That's 1:18.5, so not going to be much of an improvement at all right there. Dead last of the runners, so yeah.
Yeah, Neon Tree Dome has also done 7 laps on the soft, so him and DRC Jared both. Maybe they just didn't get any practice in beforehand and decided to get some experience.
That's crazy, man. I was looking at that lap, not even paying attention to that number 7 right there next to his name. Cannot believe he's doing all these laps just like Jared is. Very strange indeed. But it looks like Jared is going to be giving it a shot here on the mediums. Yes, he is on for an outlap right now, as many are, as you can see on the left side of your screen. The top 3 of Chandler, Pirandi, and Hoop all on the track. Get ready to give it their final run. New Zealand Ryan through 8th as well there. So we're going to be seeing some really good lap times here at the end for those who are putting on the softs. And let's take a look at who is. And yes, these medium runners are putting on the softs here, John. That's a bit strange if you ask me. I thought they were going to stay out on those, as Dralix has just moved up to 5th on mediums himself.
Well, there's such a high... there's such a high potential for a safety car here around Spain. I mean, if one person crashes in around turn 9 or turn 10, then it's definitely going to bring out a safety car. So I think these drivers are playing it safe by going on the softs.
Yeah, I think you can also say it's a high-danger tire in that if guys on the soft tires really do get past you with how much quicker those tires are, you can find yourself falling from 7th all the way down to the bottom of the field, as we have seen in the past. So maybe it's not the wisest position to be in, running those mediums, because it really can hold your track position at gunpoint. As we see Chandler go off the racetrack, he just wrecked it. Going up the chicane right there, almost lost complete control of my words as that happened, and I expect that out of him. It's going to be the end of his session. He's going to have to coast it around right here, as Pirandi has invalidated. And that's going to be the end of him. And Hoopalicious is also invalidated. Everyone's making mistakes here right at the end. Let's look at Boss Cookie. He's still valid, though, so he might be able to pull an upset here.
He might be able to. I'm watching New Zealand Ryan right now. It's looking like a pretty good lap. And Dralix is out. Dralix is retired from this session.
Well, no, I think he's just done. Yeah, he's just done because he was going to start on those mediums anyway. He set that lap late right there.
Sector 2, though.
How about that? You said he might pull the upset, and here he is now coming through the final chicane. Boss Cookie also on a lap, so we'll look at him soon. He's in Sector 3, coming around the final corner of Turn 16, and across the line, New Zealand Ryan up to 2nd. Barely not on pole once again, just like Pirandi was early. 1:14.2. As Boss Cookie, yes, here he is coming through the final chicane, and no, looks like he's given up on it. Is that wing damage I see?
He is backed out of his lap.
No, I don't think he's just given up. I thought for a minute his wing was damaged, but nah, it looks like he's just given up. Not too sure why. He's still valid.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's having a poor lap. Maybe he made a mistake while we were watching New Zealand Ryan. But yes, that is going to do it for your qualifying section, Danny.
Oh, look at Mean Fern here. He's coming through the final chicane. Let's see Mean Fern go on pole. Here he is coming through the final corner from 15th. And nah, looks like he's just going very slow. That's going to be the end of him. As Deer Hunter's also out of it. The session is over for him, obviously. BRL Williams with an invalidation right at the end stalls out his chance of going for a final run. And I think, yes, that will now officially do it. From qualifying, yep, there we go. Boss Cookie is retired, and we are ready to move on here tonight with the show. New Zealand Ryan there, as you can see on the bottom, 2nd place. That was a very good lap there for him, but just not good enough to take over Chandler.
Definitely. What a qualifying session. Chandler Seda goes on the top, gets pole here at the Spanish Grand Prix with a 1:14.181. Very great time out of him. He's definitely going to be looking to have a fantastic race. New Zealand Ryan, who's won the last 3 races, comes home in second. Pirani in third. Hooplicious, Boss Cookie, Dralix, Ginger, B-Dunk, number 1, FinFan, BRL Neymar, Williams, Deer Hunter, Mextalo, Mean Fur, Neon Tree Dome, and Alan Hugo is going to round out your grid for the race, Danny.
Yeah, Alan Hugo, yeah, you say that's surprising that he's all the way down there at the bottom. Potentially didn't do a lap, because I know from the past that he really did like to do his last to first challenges here in BRL. Let's hope he isn't, continuing to do that. I hope he's trying. Want to see him up there scuffling with the front at some point, but that will not be the case here tonight. He's got a lot of work to do. But as we saw in Australia earlier in the season, you can come all the way from the back and really give a run at the leaders, as we saw Jared do. Almost won the race from dead last. To take a look at that as the race progresses. But it now is that time where we make our selections for who's going to win here tonight. John, hand it over to you. Who's going to win here tonight, and who should our viewers also just look at to shake up things here in the grid?
I'm going to start with who should the viewers look at to shake up the grid. I think tonight I'm looking at a guy, BRL Williams. He's down in 12th, starting 12th in the Racing Point. I talked to him midweek and in the commentator chat, and he was real confident about this track. He likes this track, and I feel like he's going to have a good run at it. I know he's starting poorly, but we've seen it again and again this season, where if you start in the back, you might have a shot of winning the race, like you said earlier in Australia with DRC Jared. For me, I think BRL Pirandi is going to win this race. I was watching him in qualifying, a couple invalidations there, here and there, but he's just a very quick driver. He's been consistent. He's been in the top 3 most of the year, and I think he's going to get it done tonight.
All right, well, looking now at my picks here, I think of all the drivers that have been hit the hardest by the removal of the racing line, the 2 of them are B-Dunk and Boss Cookie. Both have not had seasons up to the par of what they're used to. But one who has stepped out of that here tonight, I have to say, is Boss Cookie there in 5th place. I'm going to make him my one to watch there. He's starting up kind of high, but it's just interesting to see someone who did get nerfed like that back up in the top 5. So it's very cool from him. Let's see if he can hold it as the race continues. I won to win here tonight. Let's give it a Hoopalicious for me. I mean, he's been waiting, and I think it could come here tonight. We saw all season long last year, he just got faster in the race as the season continued, and I think that has stayed the same here. I mean, without the line, he's shown that he has the pace of the others. He just made a couple mistakes in the past, especially the one at Australia where he went straight off in the gravel trap of turn 3 that I definitely have never done in the past. So we'll see what he can do here tonight from Spain. I think Hoopalicious could get this thing done. Expect a little bit of a slipstream train up from the leaders here early, so there's a good chance you get around some guys. And John, before we get this thing going, what are your final words of wisdom here for
My words of wisdom is don't listen to Danny on Hoopalicious winning. That's my colleague Pierre Gasly last week. But the drivers are now getting formed up on the grid. I'm excited. To all the viewers at home, hello. This is the Breakout Racing League Tier 1. We're about to get things started. Danny, over to you for the start of the race.
Yep, Alan Hugo in his grid slot down to 17th. We're ready to get things going. Lights going crazy right there. We've got 5 of them, though. And it's time to bring the action from Barcelona. Very good launch there for Ryan, but I don't think it is going to be good enough to get alongside Chandler. No, it is not. He covers off to the left side. Behind them, almost 3 wide between Boss Cookie and the Mercedes and the Renault right there of Pirandi. Here they are coming up the hill. Looks very clean from the leaders. Back in the pack, though, a lot of scuffling there. Ginger Horizon to the left side of Boss Cookie. Here they are going up turn 3, approaching turn 4 right now. Looks like they are starting to single file it out right there. As actually, no, Ginger goes for another chance out the left side of Boss Cookie, but that will not pay him any dividends as Jared is able to scoot by down the inside. Jared also, look at him going up the inside of Boss Cookie right there. Another chance at an overtake as Boss Cookie has lost 2 positions in the opening sector. Yes, he will lose another right there to Jared. Behind them, Ginger Horizon also not having the greatest start. Boss Cookie neither as well. And look at Williams there from 12th to 10th. That's been a good start for him. But I think the strongest of them all has to be Jared. He was flying there on the first lap.
For sure. The biggest loser on the first lap has to be BRL Neymar. He fell all the way down after a decent start. He made a little bit of contact out of turn 9. Number 1 Fin Fan, and it really cost him a lot of momentum. He's down in 16th, but very clean start. He started in. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Well, you know what? Chandler Sato. All right,
No,
yeah, well, I guess that was a poor start for him. Well, look at Boss Cookie and Ginger Horizon right here. Something going on. Yeah, side by side between the two of them. Boss Cookie Ghosts, that's a bit strange. They're going to clip through each other right here as they go up turn number 3. Not what Boss Cookie needed right there. He was off to a good start there in 5th place, but it looks like it's just starting to go downhill for him. Hope I didn't jinx him by making him my one to watch here tonight. Hopefully he can fight back and get those spots. But it's not looking good early from him. B-Dunk, by the way, I gave him a little bit of shame there at the beginning, but he's all of a sudden right behind Boss Cookie looking to make a move. So he can make me eat my words and get that done here very shortly. Lap 2, obviously, that was 33. Long way to go. A lot of time for him getting that move done as well as many others. Top 10 is rounded out by BRL Williams right here. Had a good start going from 12th to 10th, getting himself in the points. Can never complain about that.
Yeah, definitely. Look at Dralix already up to 5th. I think he started in 7th, so a good jump from him at the start. He's going to be all over the back of Pirandi here soon. Kind of a train forming behind Pirandi, while Chandler and Ryan checked out with Delicious about a second back.
Now, John, may I ask you,
Yes.
is it possible to one-stop from the softs here tonight? Because the AWS graphic that us viewers are looking at right here doesn't seem to say that it is possible. Can you tell us if it is?
It is possible. You can go from the softs to the hards. You have to stretch the softs around 11 laps, though, I'd like to say, just to make sure those hards at the end are in the mid-50s to mid-60%. But it's definitely doable. I know that was my plan earlier, so I think these drivers are going to have no problem with it, unless something shakes it up like a safety car or a BSC.
Yeah, well, as we said earlier, Alan Hugo tends to be starting in the back here in BRL, as he was here tonight. He has gained 5 spots up into 12th place right there. We saw him while John was talking. He was scuffling with Deer Hunter in the 3rd sector on lap 2 right there, and was able to get past him. Looking at another move here on FinFan, but that will not be able to be done thanks to FinFan having DRS. And actually, as I say that, he runs very wide, directly in the front of the Haas of Alan Hugo, so making a little bit of mistakes here right now is FinFan. That will be taken up by Hugo if he gets the opportunity. We know how good he is at making overtakes. Already 5 here on the first 3 laps.
Boss Cookie is really struggling out there on the softs right now. He's pushing the car too hard, and he got very loose. And look at that, Alan Hugo with his first 3-second time penalty. But yes, Boss Cookie was really struggling out of that chicane. But we have some moves. The DRS is activated now.
Alan Hugo.
Yeah,
yep. I was about to say, it is lap 3. We have that rear wing now available, these drivers do, so they're going to be seeing a lot more overtakes now as Alan Hugo gets around FinFan, who were just looking at
B-Dunk's looking to move on Boss Cookie. Around the outside he goes. Boss Cookie tries to cover
it
up.
Look at that. He's going to switch back.
Yep,
B-Dunk. Actually, no. Looks like Boss Cookie is going to send it back down the inside. He was not clear with B-Dunk. And it looks like he will get another set of rotation. We're seeing a lot of these guys get better rotation around the outside. As now this is not going to work. Yeah, we were going up a hill with one lane, and that was going to close right up. Contact and spin for the 2. McLaren and AlphaTauri there, Boss Cookie and B-Dunk. That was terrible. I mean, they were having such a great race, and it just got killed by that corner. I mean, it's just a 1-lane corner. You can't expect it to work when those guys are fighting as hard as they are through there.
For sure. I was when I watched that, I cringed just a little bit, Danny. That 2 into that corner does not work. And look at this, the lead of the race might change. Look at that, New Zealand Ryan pulls out to the left on Chandler Seda and is through into the lead of the race. Look at that.
There it is, almost completely distracted, not almost, by the wreck there between the last 2 runners now, Boss Cookie and B-Dunk. There was a battle for the lead shaken up, and there is Chandler getting overtaken by that black Mercedes of New Zealand Ryan up into 1st place now. Behind them, Hoopalicious kind of just lurking in the background, 2.2 seconds back, got a long way to go. We'll try and close the gap right there, maybe saving his tires right now for later in the run, as that will be crucial on those softs. Behind them, Pirandi forming a little bit of a train. Didn't think I'd ever say that in my life. He's got Dralix and Jared very close, as he picks up a penalty, by the way. It's not going well here for Pirandi early in this stint.
Yeah, for sure. And Hooglicious is kind of checked out in front of him. And Hooglicious has a massive gap to Chambers in second. Those guys are just going to swap the lead, I feel like, for a bunch of these laps. And with that DRS down the front straightaway, Chamber and New Zealand Ryan are the two that I'm talking about. Beat off with a 3-second time penalty right there. He has to be fuming after that contact with Boss Cookie.
Yeah, well, someone I'm going to give a little bit of credit here to is Ginger Horizon in his McLaren. He's been having a very good season so far. As in front of him, looks like Draux is setting up a move on Pirandi. Yes, here he is looking to the right side by side for fourth place as they go in the first corner. And Draux will have that covered off before they even get to the braking zone. Easy move there for him, as behind Jared is going to try and capitalize right there, get that fifth place as well. Behind them, I was saying, Ginger Horizon been maximizing his performance this season, possibly even over-maximizing, as he is ahead of Jared Dralix, B-Dunk, and Ham Newton. A lot of guys that you expect to be up at the front. He's been outperforming them, so he's been having a really good, strong season thus far. And there he is in 7th place, looking to make a move on Jared and Pirandi.
Yeah, I can't actually believe that I picked BRL Williams for the driver to watch after he made a few select comments for me earlier, but he's up into 8th right now, and he's cruising, and maybe he might get up to the back of Ginger Horizon. The world may never know, but I'm really focusing on this battle between Jared and Pirandi. Jared is all over the back of Pirandi's gearbox, and he's not going to make this move in Sector 3, I don't think, but down the front straightaway, that is where the move will probably be done.
Yeah, well, here they are coming through that chicane right now. Actually, looks like Pirandi had the better run out of there. That was very important for his chances of not getting overtaken right here, as B-Duck now picks up a penalty. But DRS and Battery disagree with what Pirandi's motives are right here. Coming down to the front straightaway, the first corner, he is going to send it up the right side as Jared. Hard on the brakes and ahead, up into 5th place. That was a very good move by him.
It was very clean, no contact through there, and that dive bomb, if you'd like to call it, or send, if you'd like to call it as well. That was pretty solid there.
Yeah, I mean, hitting the apex is the important part when you hit the brakes hard like that, and very late indeed. And we tend to see a lot of these overtakes made before they even get to the braking zone, so good change of pace right there to see the brakes decide who is going to come out on top right there, and it was Jared.
It was BRC Jared, but back up at the front, New Zealand Ryan has pulled a 1.3-second gap onto Chandler, as we see Max Stalo down there get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. B-Dunk, earlier, Danny, you said B-Dunk had a time penalty. That is his second, so tough race for him.
Yeah, it's going to be even harder now. I mean, after the spin, 16th and 2 penalties, he was just looking to have a good, solid run here tonight, something modest, and that is not what is looking his way right now. As Chandler's coming in the pits on lap 7, is he 2-stopping now?
He might be 2-stopping. Let's see what kind of...
If he puts on the hards here, I think he's going to try and stretch it, but if we see anything else, that's a guaranteed 2-stop.
I'm going to watch him in pit lane, and he is putting on...
It's hards.
The hards, so... Chandler, the first one to kick everything off, and there's a McLaren behind him.
Ginger Horizon with him.
Yeah,
no, Boss Cookie
speeds.
Dude, the curse. It's still there. The Boss Cookie curse, man.
It is still there from season.
He left McLaren in
4.
hopes that would go away, but oh man, it's still lingering with him here on Alpha Tower. He's been a rough season so far for him. 17th in the points right now. His best finish being 15th back at Vietnam. Not going well for him, but looking here at Chandler and Ginger, that is a bit early, but I guess it is theoretically possible now to make it to the end on hards. Those tires are going to be working hard, though.
Alan Hugo makes the move on Trito through turn 7 there, so that was a pretty good move. That was different from the one that B-Dunk and Boston tried to do.
Yep,
and look at that.
Behind them, by the way, B-Dunk is going to be able to get past Neon Tritum. Yes, looks like Neon Tritum actually hit the gravel there on the left side, exited 9 a little bit, really stalled out his momentum down the back straight. B-Dunk was able to take advantage of what Allen had just gotten as well. Neymar, by the way, now passed by Hugo. These two Haas's sticking together right here. 11th and 12th here going through the 3rd sector as Hugo goes very wide there in front of Neymar. These guys on those mediums looking to go further into the race here as now Ryan and Pirandi, 2 others of the big guns, now coming in the pits, putting on those hard white wall tires. So here they are, but right in front, of the battling between the Haas is where Ryan came out. That's really important, John. If he had that much slower of an in-lap, he would have been behind these two guys.
Yes, and Chandler would have been right there as well. So good stuff from New Zealand Ryan to get ahead of Alan Hugo in PRL Myanmar. Danny, I just had to point this out. It's actually quite nice to see some fans in the stands, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they may be fake fans, but at least just seeing stuff like that, you know, it's something that's going to put a smile on your face, I guess. Talking a smile on my face, look at my pick now up in the lead right here. Hoopalicious doing the overcut on the two guys who were provisionally up first. I mean, I was going to say, before they pitted, Hoopalicious was keeping in tow of the pace of New Zealand Ryan. He was catching Chandler as Chandler was falling away, and here is Hoop now coming in the pits. A very strong first stint for him, if you ask me, and here he is, hard on the brakes, doesn't speed. Unlike Boss Cook, piece of good stuff there from Hoopalicious.
Yeah, to the viewers at home, me and Danny actually do not bet on these races. We thought about it a couple of times, but you know, it really didn't work out in my favor, so I disagreed with the betting idea. But yes, his guy Hoopalicious was in the lead, but he now pits. Danny's falling like a rock. How do you feel now?
Well, I mean, that was going to happen. He did the overcut right there. But these tires are going to be working very hard here. These hards are going to be going all the way to the end of the race here. 23 laps, actually 24 for him, and it's 25, I believe, for Ryan and Chandler, an additional lap as well. So there's going to be a lot of wear right there at the end of the session. I heard someone tell me tonight that their tires were at 85% coming across the line on hards. So if that happened there in Tier 2, it could very well happen here in Tier 1, and it's going to be really tough to manage those tires as they get older. I think it will benefit Hoopalicious at the end there. His tires will be less destroyed.
For sure. Another guy to watch out for is DRC Jared and Drolix. Those guys started on the mediums, and they're going to be able to go that much longer than the other people out there on the... Never mind, there's no people in the softs. That's awkward. That's really awkward.
Yeah, well, no.
We got medium
Actually,
runners up there.
Let's save what you were trying to say right there. I'm interested to see the pace differential between these guys who started on the mediums and those who just pitted onto the hards. Because I would imagine that mildly worn mediums are just as quick as fresh hards, and there's a good chance that these could be balancing out right here, really benefiting these guys when they put on those hards later.
Well, the hards really take a couple of laps to you know, hook up a good lap, because those tires are, you know, when you put them on, they are so cold, and it takes about 3 to 4 laps to heat them up to the proper temperature. So I think some of these guys might struggle. I know I do, but yeah, right now it looks like Drolix has a control over this race.
Yep, as BRL Neymar comes to the pits right here. He's the first of those medium runners, it appears, to put on the hards there. So interesting from him. As we see, yes, Drolix is barely ahead of Jared right here. I'd actually expect an overtake here in a couple seconds. See if that happens in the front straightaway. But yeah, Drolix having a good run right here. Having a really respectable season there. 6th place in the championship. He has 2 DNSs, though. That means do not start. He missed both Bahrain and last week at the Netherlands, so he's going to try and get some points here tonight to add to that campaign. Makes sense why he's down in 6th. He'd be much further up if he did some races, but either way, he now has a rear view field of DRC Jared, and he's just going to move up into 1st place before he gets to the braking zone. Easy move right there for him. Didn't even have to apply the brakes that much, as we saw him do a minute ago. And now it's just an easy one. Up in the 1st place, DRC Jared, you have a new leader, folks.
And I was watching number 1 FinFan defend from Mean Fern and actually got around Mean Fern. So number 1 FinFan slots himself up into 6th for the moment. Mean Fern down
on that
in
alternate
7th.
strategy. He's having a good run.
He is. He is on the alternate strategy. So hopefully he can continue this luck that he's got going.
I'm going to say, hopefully he gets his first points here tonight. So far, he hasn't even scored. His best finish being... Look at the chart right here. It was 11th place a week ago from Zandvoort, so he's going to try and better that here today. Get at least 10th and score some points here in his first season of the top tier of BRL. There he is now, actually poking a little bit of a look there on Mex Stalo. Mex Stalo not having the greatest season himself either. Best finish was a week ago, though, in 6th place, so trying to get things turned around off the momentum he started last week. But John, I think you and I both know he wants some overcast and rain coming here soon.
I was just about to say that, Danny. He wants it to pour. He wants the monsoon to roll in and just race the track because he is one of the quickest drivers on F1 games in the wet, just like ARL Brackish. But I'm watching a move by New Zealand.
Oh, FinFan goes wide right there.
Ooh, that was locked up on Mean Fern there as well. But he gets by him. He makes the move done, and that's critical for him.
That move provisionally doesn't affect anything, but it's always good to get the traffic out of the way. There is for Ryan, so there he is now getting around Mean Fern. Coming up to the gearbox now of number 1 FinFan, who, as that move happened, went very wide on the exit of turn 1, switching to turn 2, possibly a warning there for him. But we also did see a second ago that the window has opened for the medium runners, so expect some of them to pit this lap, potentially maybe the next time by.
Well, Danny, something interesting to look at is how far ahead New Zealand Ride is from Chandler Seda. Chandler has been struggling to find his pace on the hards, and he is almost 3 seconds back off of New Zealand Ryan as of now, and that is going to hurt his race.
And Hoopalicious also, by the way, has not had the greatest run here. That overcut did not pay very well to him, as he's now 3.6 seconds behind Chandler, who is about 1.2 seconds behind when they were running up at the front, so that's not good for him, as now we are, yes, seeing these guys come into the pits, as I mentioned a minute ago. We got, what is it? We got Dralix, we got BRO Williams, and Mextalo all putting on those white wall tires. Coming from the lead was Dralix. Is Jared, Jared is still out there in the lead.
And the self-proclaimed one that does not practice, and actually the self-proclaimed one that said he was going to be quick this year. DRC Jared and Deer Hunter out 1-2. That's awesome. That's good to see. It's just like Monza the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you take the picture of it now, it certainly will be, but give it another minute, we're going to be seeing that New Zealand Ryan name back atop the charts, as he is right behind Deer Hunter and number 1 FinFan here, coming through turn number 9 down the back straight. We might even see a move right here from Ryan, but no, it will not be able to get done, as FinFan also had the DRS in front of him. Not going to get much of an advantage with that rear wing if the guy in front of you also has it, so not possible there for New Zealand Ryan, but here he is now coming up to that front straightaway. He might not even have to get the move done, as these two might even pit right here, John, as DRC Jared pits.
Yeah, those guys are going to pit, yes. And Deer Hunter comes in as well as number 1 FinFan right behind him in the Alfa Romeo, and this is going to slot.
Yeah. Let's keep an eye on this pit lane battle, actually, and we might see FinFan jump Deer Hunter. They're very close to each other. FinFan, yes, here we are. FinFan's going to come into the box right in front. Let's see if that actually stalls out Deer Hunter right here. That would be interesting, but no, actually, FinFan is the one who will get held, and he loses time right there. So that was possibly a half a second that he just lost on the driver in front just through the pit stop sequence.
For sure. And Ginger Horizon, someone that we haven't really mentioned, is up in 8th right now. He's running solidly in the points tonight.
Yeah, how about that? And hold on, I just gotta look real quick at B-Dunk down here, see where he comes out in relation to everybody else. Looks like he's not even close to some of these guys who just pitted. Gotta feel bad for him. He's had some spins here recently, neither of which were entirely his fault. The one here tonight you could pin more on just pure racing. And the one that happened in China 2 weeks ago tonight, it was kind of just, the door closed on him on the exit of the hairpin, caused him to go around, and it's just been very unfortunate for B-Dunk these recent weeks. He's got to try and get his luck turned around.
Retired from the session.
Yeah, he was in last.
In the pit lane. He was in the pit lane.
Yeah, he gave up.
Yeah, he did.
No quitters in BRL. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Get out of here, man.
Yes, he is done here tonight. Was having a poor run down and dead last in his Haas, so he's just going to give up here. As up at the front, Alan Hugo actually still on those mediums. Has just gotten passed by New Zealand Ryan. He's still on those tires he started on. Ryan's on those fresh hards there, so he's going to be able to get around him easily. Move up back to the point where he belongs. Chandler Seda behind them, 3.2 seconds. He's still got a long ways to go if he wants to get around Ryan. We were kind of mentioning it in qualifying. Chandler was very, very confident in his pace that he had on the one lap. But his long run pace in the race, a little bit of a different story. He's not quite as quick as Ryan, and I unfortunately think we're gonna see Ryan put on a Mercedes here.
Danny, I'm watching the guy that you placed every bet that you had on here tonight. Hooplicious. He's
I wouldn't go that far. I was making a fun pick, man.
You put everything on Hooplicious. I mean, you bet the house on him. So Hooplicious is running in 4th right now, 5 laps on the hards. He's got DRC Jared for company right behind him to fresh hard. So
yeah, I think I even bet my position here. Tier 1 commentator on the line here. I think someone else might be in the booth next. Nah, I'm good. But either way, yeah, not going. Oh, yeah. It's not going quite as well here for Hooplicious as I would have expected. I mean, the overcut really hurt him. I mean, he was right in the thick of things before that first stint ended. Long way to go here still. We could see a safety car potentially as it continues, bunching back up. But as of now, looks like the best he's going to get is 3rd. As Jared is all over him, by the way. Look at that, making a move into turn number 4. Looking to the outside, let's see if he gets the better rotation. He should, which sets him up for a good position in the hairpin of turn 5. And yes, on the brakes, a little bit of a lockup, no harm, no foul. Gets the car stopped, and what a move to get around. Hooplicious right there by Jared. As Hoop actually sends it, no! It looked like
Danny has he's lost a lot of money here tonight.
Oh my god.
We saw it earlier.
That just hurt to watch. We saw that's the second time. Yeah, second time we've seen accidents here in the turn 7-8 chicane approaching turn 9. It just does not work if you go side by side right there. If you're Hooplicious, I think you've just got to tuck in and accept the fact that you lost the position. Because Jared had him fully cleared going into that very treacherous part of the racetrack. I'm not too sure why he was still fighting at that point there, John.
I agree. I mean, I would have backed out of it. Actually, that's a lie. I probably would have stuck with it, but
you would have wrecked both of you. Yeah,
I probably would have wrecked both of us with my luck. But yes, that is very unfortunate for Hooplicious. Oh man. But DRC
it's not over, by the way. Alan Hugo's all over him with the DRS open. Looking on the left side is Hooplicious to go defensively, but no, the DRS will do the damage, and up into 8th place goes Alan Hugo. His journey from the back of the field continues.
And right behind those guys, Max Stalo makes a move on to that final points-paying position there in his Red Bull. Very good move from him. Didn't even lock up going down into the corner. I hope there is no weaving tonight, Danny. Yeah, weaving is not good. It's a disgusting act. I'd like to say this is a disgusting
Joe Buck
online
famously
lobby.
said that is a disgusting act there, but by Randy Moss.
Well, you know, weaving is not good, and I think all these drivers, you know, hold some standards of their driving.
Yeah, well, you were just saying that battle for 10th place right there that Max Stalo has just been able to come out on top of here. This is a battle that we would not have if it weren't for the misfortune of some other drivers, being Boss Cookie, B-Dunk, guys of the sort that had to spin early, putting them back behind these drivers that they're provisionally faster than. So we might actually see them catch up and make some things happen here at the very end of the race, especially Boss Cookie. He really seems to have lost less time than B-Dunk did from that spin. But here we are, we're starting to see some of that defensive driving here down the front straightaway. Look at how close number 1 Fin Fan and Deer Hunter are to each other going into the first corner. Hard on the brakes goes Fin Fan to the left. Deer Hunter locks up a little bit, but still leaves room. Fin Fan picks up a penalty that I really hope gets removed because that was not bad. Deer Hunter forced him there too.
Look at how close that was. Wow, that was some fantastic racing. In the chat though, New Zealand Venom goes Hoop a bit too cocky trying to make that move, yes, and especially there we saw it with B-Dunk and Boss Cookie earlier. So
yeah, I would agree, unfortunately, for my pick here tonight. That was on Hoop. But looking at Fin Fan right here, I think he's going to be appealing that a little. If you saw, he got a 3-second time penalty making the move on Deer Hunter to the left of turn number 1. Closes up right there, the gap between the track and the car on the right. And Deer Hunter did give him the squeeze right there, put him off the track, causing a penalty. So might be an appeal after the race for that. I thought that was just good racing between those two.
Well, you do have to think there is 13 laps left to go, and he will probably end up with a penalty because of the horrible penalty system in this game. So it probably won't be removed, but it'll definitely be looked at.
We'll see. I mean, there's so many that it might not even hurt him that bad. I mean, we tend to see, in past games, we tend to see a really big shake-up in the grid due to those penalties, but I think they're so easy for everyone to get now that it kind of just keeps the field in check, keeps it in balance there of the order that you tend to see just on track.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm riding on board with #1 Finn fan right now. He's looking to get back at Mextalo after Mextalo got around him. But that is not the closest battle on track. The closest battle is BRL Pirandi and BRL Williams, my guys. Those two, I picked both of them, and they're running in 5th and 6th. So, yeah, I should probably not play the lottery tomorrow, then.
Well, yeah, he's having a good race here, is BRL Williams. I mean, he started at 12th place up to 6th right here. He has, once again, capitalized on the misfortune of some other drivers, but that's all part of it here. You got to be in the position to get lucky, and he certainly has up at 6th right now. Potentially 5th here in a minute, as DRS is open for him coming down the front straightaway. Looks like Pirandi has that battery engaged, though, and overtake, so no chance at all for Williams to make the move this time around, but he's got a long way to go. 13 laps to get it done.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if Chandler Seda can catch New Zealand Ryan here with 13 to go. Danny, I don't know if it's going to be possible. 4.7 seconds around Spain is that's a lot of time to make up.
Yeah, and look at Jared behind them also, 4.7 seconds. I don't know if any of these guys are going to catch each other. To be fair, though, there is still 13 laps, so we could see some shakeups here, especially with the tire wear differential between Jared and those two. We might, you know what, wild prediction, Jared's going to win this race. He's got 5 laps on those hards, 2 guys in front of him, 11 and 12. I think it's gonna pay off here, John. Call me crazy, but I'm just going to say that right now.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy. And Jay Webster 3 in the chat says, "Go Danny Stevens." So that's very interesting there.
Or that would Jay Web. What do you mean Jay Webster? Who's Jay Webster?
Me, dude.
Oh. Well, here we are coming around the final corner. Is Pirandi and Williams closer than they were a lap ago, only 3/10 now. Battery isn't going to be enough to keep Pirandi ahead this time. As here is Williams looking on the right side by side for 5th, going to the first corner. Hard on the brakes goes the racing point of Williams, and he gets himself past the Renault. But Pirandi up into 5th place. Good stuff there for him. He's got his eyes now ahead, looking at VSR Dralix, 1.8 seconds up to him. I think that could give you doable here.
Definitely, Williams is on a charge right now. I wish, like I was saying this about the actual Williams car in F1, but yes, BRL Williams is on a charge. He's got Dralix up there, about 2 seconds up the road for company. So hopefully he can break this gap to Pirandi and continue on with his progress standing.
And, you know, so we mentioned Dralix. Something we're really going to have to pay attention to is the penalty situation. As we said a minute ago, everyone seems to get penalties with this new system, except for Dralix. This man still, in the face of just utter and, just terror when it comes
adversity,
to penalties, this man still comes out. He still comes out. He still comes out with the adversity. Yeah, right? He still has the ability to not pick up those penalties there and gain a ton of positions here at the end, as we've seen a couple times this season, including Australia, when he even finished on the podium thanks to it. Oh no, what happened to Vita? Oh, I think he's just given up.
Yes, B-Dunk is out. He's crashed. Safety car.
Oh, has he crashed? Oh, that changes everything. Oh, man. That absolutely changes it. I mean, what is... Oh, John, look at this. We've got drivers on the pit lane right here. This might shake up the position. I'm not going to get too excited here because I've learned from the past that there is a delta when this happens. So I don't think... No, they're not going to come out ahead of these leaders, because that would just be ludicrous if that were to happen, but I do dream.
But Danny, some of these drivers might have to double stack, and that is going to play a massive game changer.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah, I mean, the Mercedes certainly will have to, unless someone doesn't pit right here.
Well,
that would be crazy.
They know how to do that in the first place.
Yeah, but the AI Mercedes tend to have it dropped a couple times in the... in their infancy, so I don't think they'll be able to do it quite as well.
Yeah, I wish we could see that in real life. Yeah. Go Ferrari. No, can you tell that we're Ferrari fans? I don't know.
Oh my God. Well, here we are going into the pit lane. New Zealand Ryan is going to come in. I don't expect anyone to stay out right here. Those hards are so slow. You're just going to see everyone pit here. Oh, never mind.
Jared.
Never mind.
Look at
Jared staying out. He's got his 8-lap-old hards.
Oh, this is going to be interesting, and he is staying out. And look at that, number 1 Finn fan with a speeding.
You got a drive-through. Yeah, it's going to be a drive-through, and unfortunately for him, he's going to have to serve that after the green flag. Did he? Oh, man.
So
you know, I was saying you're not gonna see many people stay out here, but we're seeing it, and it's a gamble here. They just want to try and finish higher up than they would have finished, where they would have finished if they pitted in tow with everyone else. I mean, this is huge for Hugo, starting from 17th. Oh, but he was so far back that he wasn't able to get around Ryan by staying out. That's a little painful for him, and not very good for Jared. He did not need Ryan to come out right behind him on those fresh softs.
Definitely. And I was looking at Hugo earlier. He was sitting in 8th, so he's jumped up 5 positions there without pitting.
Yeah, well, here we are pacing around now. Do you think there's a chance that Jared just wanted to avoid the double stack? I mean, he could pit right here, but I don't think that would make sense at this point because everyone else will have caught up. He's going to get promoted all the way to the back if he pits.
Well, Jared was so far back from New Zealand Ryan that Mercedes weren't going to have a problem. I mean, they might have been a little bit
I think
slower.
he's committed.
He might have, I think he's committed to this strategy, and I think 8 laps to the hard's not too bad.
Yeah, well, it is the hards against brand new mediums and softs all behind him. And actually, let's look at the selection here. We had some guys take mediums, we had some guys take soft. It's potentially because they used them all up in qualifying, but 1 lap of a scrub set is not much wear at all, so I don't think that would be the problem. But there's just some guys who genuinely think that those mediums will last longer. I mean, they obviously will last longer, but I think they think there's enough time for the mediums harder tire grip to be, I think that they think it's going to work out for them. Those soft runners really might fall off right in the final few laps here, John.
Yeah, something to watch at this restart. A couple of these guys on the mediums. I know I struggled with it on a couple of these safety car restarts in Tier 2. Going through the final corner, if you carry too much speed, you will be able to lose it out of the final corner and spin. These drivers have a little bit more skill set than me.
That's a problem, John. Come on, man.
It is a problem. It is a problem. You'll just drop the rear. So, so hopefully these guys can get their tires warmed up. A lot of these soft runners will not have to worry about it, but a few back there on the mediums might.
Yeah, well, what is it? I think Boss Cookie and Neon Tree Dome are the biggest winners here of the safety car. The 2 of them were so far back when it came out, especially for Boss Cookie. After the spin early, this is really working well for him. Going to have a chance to fight back, get some points that he would have had. This isn't good for those guys running in 11th, 10th, though, because they know that they are a bit slower than these guys behind them, so they're really going to have to put the elbows out to hold on to those final points-paying positions. We might have the safety car come in right here. Yes, it is coming in this lap. They're all bunched up. They're all ready to go. So it is time. And John, is there anything our viewers should keep in mind here before we get this thing restarted?
Yeah, the safety car is really red this weekend, and I prefer the red rather than the silver. That's about it, Danny.
That's about it. All right, we'll see if we see it tomorrow morning. That would be exciting, certainly. We can always appreciate a good restart in Formula One. Don't see it too often. Either way, we're about to have one right now as DRC Jared, the rambling gambling man coming through on those hards here. Going to be putting his elbows out as wide as he can to hold off his teammate of New Zealand Ryan. He steps on the gas. We are green back from Spain, Barcelona. It's a very good restart for New Zealand Ryan. He's going to get alongside Jared before they even get to the full straightaway. Here they are coming down to turn number 1. Who is going to come out on top? Right, yeah, a little bit of contact right there. Harder on the brakes is Ryan as he forces his teammate off the track a little bit. Doesn't pick up a penalty, though. Good for Jared right there, but that was not good for Jared at all. He's been passed instantly as Neon Tree Dome picks up a 3-second time penalty. Behind them, we have a battle between Hugo and Chandler Seda. A little bit of contact, I think, between the 2 of those. Here they are coming up out of turn number 4. Side by side, almost. Dralic switching to the inside. Oh no, Chandler's left the seat disconnected on the restart. That is not what he needed. As now some of these drivers that are slower than him are just going to phase through his ghost car. Yes, as B.R. Williams picks up a 3-second time penalty there in 6th place. So his excellent run tonight might be stalled out a little bit by that penalty. But he is still having a good race nonetheless up in 6th place. Going to be 5th here in a minute as he's going to clip right through Chandler Seda. That is just terrible.
Yes, I have invited Chandler to take it back, but this guy cannot catch a break this year, Danny.
No, we just can't. I mean, he had the false retirement in Australia. He's had other disconnections in prior races tonight. And yes, here he is joining back. He's going to have some work to do once he takes back control of that race car. Only 6 laps, I think, by the time the hill come in.
Did. Oh no! Oh no, that's my God. Okay. All right, so sorry.
Oh, geez,
it is Fin. Dude, it's the same.
But behind, looking at 9th place, by the way, looks like Chandler. Never mind. That was just me. That was just Max Taylor clipping for Chandler's car. But John, I know he didn't pit, but he might as well have just stopped the car. I mean, this thing is just getting passed left and right. That AR car is.
AR car, yeah, but
the AR car, sure. The assault. I'm losing my words here, man. It's been a long race.
It has been a long.
No, he's taking back control. He's taking back. He's in 10th place still. There we go. Oh, Jesus, he's locking up all over the place. I really hope he didn't get the grip glitch. Sometimes when you take back over control of the car, it loses a lot of its control that it had a minute ago on the tires. But looks like Deer Hunter is going to be taking a look to the right side. Hard on the brakes goes Deer Hunter, but doesn't even get alongside. But that allows for the switchback on Chandler. Chandler covers that off smartly, though. But, John, I think you might get passed by Deer Hunter, though, with the DRS available.
For sure.
Well, actually, is it available, or is it next lap? I think it... Oh my God.
What?
Deer Hunter.
That's tough. That is tough.
Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me, man.
Well, we don't take
I'm
sides here
face
in the Breakout
palming
Racing
right now,
League,
like in real life. Behind him, though, by the way, Alpha Tauri battle. We have Boss Cookie making a move on Mean Fern. There he is, getting himself up to 11th place. Boss Cookie 1 position away from the points positions. So good stuff there for him. I'm still dead inside after what I just saw. You know, I really hope Boss Cookie passes Deer Hunter here. I'm supposed to be non-biased, but I want it to happen after that. That was something else.
Yeah, that was, I'm quite interested to see and hear Chandler say that after the race. Have a few
I'm surprised he hasn't quit yet. That's just something about his integrity and his never quit mentality. Surprised he's still here. But also, you just gotta say, not only for him, number 1 Fin fan, the other Alpha. They've both had just a disappointing ending right here. They didn't do anything wrong, but it's just been very unlucky. I mean, with Chandler's spin and FinFan getting the penalty on the pit lane under safety car, they're just now in last of the current runners. Not a good night for Alpha at all. And behind the leader, by the way, as we've just been looking at Ryan, Jared is still holding off these guys on his hards, John. You think he can make it all the way to the end on these?
I think he can. I think Hugo might get by him. And look at that Chandler say that as he was tired from the session.
Ignore what I said a minute ago about his
integrity.
No. He's retiring with dignity. Let's say that. I mean, I would just walk away from Deer Hunter and protest after that. But either way, got to look back at Jared. He's doing an excellent job right here on these hards. So is Hugo, to be fair. They're both holding off this stampede of drivers on fresh Red Bull sauce.
Sector 1. Oh, it's just Chandler.
My
bad.
FinFan.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Is it FinFan? Oh, yes, it is.
I believe, yes. Actually, no, it's not. Chandler's car has gone through the pit lane after retiring and is now back on the racetrack. That's
awesome.
It's a bit strange, but luckily it's a ghost car that will not affect these guys in any way at all, aside from visually. But here we are coming out of the final corner. Ryan just pulling away, as he should be right now. If he wasn't, I'd be scared. But look at Hugo right here. Actually might make a move on Jared right here in the DRS and slipstream. Gonna look to the just gonna stick it over to the left side, stay in tow on the racing line, get that turn in that he needs to get through turn 2. And look at Drelix behind them. I'm surprised that Drelix isn't closer right now. He should be as close to Hugo as Hugo is to Jared, but he just seems to be lagging a little bit right here.
I think he is as well. Hugo, though, I mean, he's looking really, really racy as well. I keep watching him the last couple of laps. He's all over the back of DRC Jared. And these guys behind him, like Drelix and Williams, really want to get on with it, but are stuck behind. 14 and 12 laps for the cars for the boat drivers.
Yeah, well, BRO Williams by the way up in his 5th place right now. His but he's been storming since this race went green. He's gone from 12th all the way up into 5th. Been a very good race for him. Behind him is Ginger Horizon, though, still having a very solid race. We might see some position changes here. Right at the... Oh, no, Perandi's gone around. I just switched to him the second. Looks like he got with turn number 13, and that right around. Good for him, though, right there. He was having a... He was in 7th. He's going to go get a lot of these guys. Hoopala.
Probably talking about guys here. Okay, so,
of course, if the drivers gives up to know. I know. This is that connected here. It might happen. I'm not at home. So it should not happen. Back of the battle here for the final. Coleman needs to do tonight. Dralix and Williams, for that matter, are not doing what they're doing as they're on richer tires on 2 soft.
No, they are not. I can't believe DRC Jared is holding these guys up on that you could take around 20 or absolutely wanted to stretch 16. It hasn't been done, and we haven't seen it all year long at the Spanish Grand Prix in the Breakout Racing League. So it's going to lead to a final lap pass, maybe a little scenario 7 action.
But I'm just saying, there's also a chance here that the softs are already taking damage. We know how quickly they wear out. And I mean, there's just a good chance they might not have anything to fight left with here right now. I mean, they were the same gap though when those tires were brand new, and they're still the same gap now. I don't think it's going to get any better from here. Those tires are going to wear out fast.
And it almost seems like DRC Jared's catching New Zealand ride just a little bit. So maybe he might be 1 lap too late here, Danny.
Yeah. Well, here we are now. By the way, did you just mention how DRC Jared just closed in a little bit on Ryan? Because
he did.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm half awake right here. But look at that, 1.8 seconds now between these two. I don't know. We might see. White flag is in the air for New Zealand Ryan. So he's just got 1 more lap here to negotiate. We don't know what the penalty situation is between he and his teammate right now, so Jared might actually be in the lead right now. For all we know, we'll see that in a minute. But behind them, once again, the soft runners are starting to fall off a little bit, actually. Dralix has lost a couple more tenths now to the Haas of Hugo, so I'm starting to think that this staying out idea is a lot better than I thought it was at the time. I mean, with that many laps left, no one would have thought they would stay out on hards, but look at that. It's really paying out for these two. Going to come across the line in 2nd and 3rd at least. They are too far ahead now of those soft runners to get overtaken. So I think it's done and dusted for them. 2nd and 3rd on track, but where is penalties going to put everyone when they come across the line? Dralix in 4th place. He might be a podium sitter. We know just how clean he is. As Ryan is coming out of the final corner now. Here he is approaching it, mind me. Gonna wrap that curve, hit it on exit. Not. He's just gonna avoid it. Across the line, it's the win now for New Zealand Ryan. It's been 4 in a row for him. 2nd and 3rd will belong to Jared and Hugo. Behind Jake's 5th over BRO. That penalty he took on the final restart really did cost him, as Hoopalicious will come home in 7th, not the race that he wanted, starting up at the front. Next, right the front line, did Deer Hunter finish in the...
Yes, he did. He got 10.
In a minute.
That might.
Drive. I don't think we discussed. That is fair. Alan Hugo for the day, going from 3rd to Jared earlier in the season in Australia. Fast, he went all the way up to the podium. Hugo's been able to do it here tonight from Spain. Those two, that's of going from left to front.
Yeah, for sure. I watched all night, but it kind of got
a lot better. Yeah, who was it that said hopefully Tier 1 is that exciting than it certainly could have been, we've seen from years past. But either way, it's over now, and look at that on the right side of your screen. All the penalties for everyone, except for your winner, New Zealand Ryan there. The only one to not pick up a penalty as the race continued. So once again, he is your winner. Second place belongs to Jared, and Hugo then rounds out the top 3, your podium. 4th place on down. John, why don't you read it for us?
VSR Dralix comes... Oh, God. Come on. Can I speak? VSR Dralix
all right, you've been revoked of your duty.
comes home in the Williams in 4th, Ginger Horizon in 5th in the McLaren, BRL Williams in 6th, followed by Kooflicious and his teammate Nextalo in 7th and 8th. BRL Perandi comes home in 9th. Disappointing race for him. Deer Hunter probably not going to finish their intent. Bean Fern, number 1 Fin Fan, Boss Cookie, Neon Tree Dome, you're 1 lap down. And the drivers that did not finish were Chandler Seda, B-Dunk, and BRL Neymar. And that rounds out your Spanish Grand Prix results.
Yeah, and as you said, Parandi was having a solid race, but he lost it right at the end, I think with about 2 to 3 laps to go. Spun right on the curb at turn number 12. We know just how much that curb unsettles the car on the right side. There's a lot of lines you can take through that corner, but on the curve, that's just not one that you want to be taking. It sent him right around, potentially some help. I don't think anyone hit him, but there's a good chance that someone made contact, as those guys were very bunched up on the restart. We'll get more news on that later as the week progresses. But either way, it's time to interview our podium finishers here tonight of New Zealand Ryan, and the other two, that being his teammate of Hugo. No, his teammate of Jared, mind me, in second place and Hugo in third. Let's get those guys in here right now, John. So shoot those invites. I'll get Ryan right here. Let's see. Yep, so invite has been sent to Ryan. Let's hope he joins here in a second.
Yeah, Danny, I'm sending those invites right now.
Yep, so Ryan's not. Oh, here he is. Now let's get Hugo as well as Jared. So John, just get that covered off for me. As Ryan has now connected. Yes, he has. So New Zealand Ryan's in the party. Just make sure you got that box checked for me. We get the interview going here.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's 4 in a row. It was 3 in a row coming into the night, winning at Vietnam, China, and then the Netherlands. You've now taken another one here tonight from Barcelona, that being the Spanish Grand Prix, coming home in first place. It's got to be good to be winning like this. I mean, with the amount of talent we added this season, did you think you'd be able to get on a roll like this early in the season?
No. I will take it. Yeah, it was a bit more stressful than the other ones, but job done.
Of course. Well, that safety car at the end really shook things up right there. The crash from B-Dunk bringing out that AMG car. So a lot of drivers pitted. You pitted as well. A lot of drivers stayed out. It paid off for you. You won the race. Was there any question in what you wanted to do there?
Well, I don't know. If I didn't pit, then everyone else would have, and then I was stuffed, so I just took the risk, and yeah. Surprisingly, the softs died really quickly, so that was a bit of a stressful last few laps, but yeah, all good.
Yeah, was there ever a fear that your teammate would catch you? Because those softs really did seem to die out on everyone very quickly right there at the end.
I noticed they were dying off, so I just decided to not full send and protect the left front. It was alright.
Of course. Well, next week we have the track that many people fear, many people love, that being Monaco, the streets of Monte Carlo. I know you're a pad user, not your most exciting weekend ahead, but what do you think you can give us there?
Well, I won't be winning, but hopefully a podium or something like that would be good.
We're going to quote you on that. You won't be winning. So if I see you here in a week from now, you're up the top of the podium, there's going to be some problems, but
unless it rains.
Oh, yeah, right.
That might help.
All right, cool. Well, congrats on the win here tonight. It's 4 in a row, obviously, as we said. Congrats on that. Hope to see you do well again next week. Why don't you take care? Have a good week, Ryan.
Cheers.
All right, so second place tonight belongs to his teammate of DRC, Jared. Did the gamble there at the very end of staying out on those hards that he didn't have too many laps on, but in the end of the day, they are way slower than the softs. You were able to keep your elbows out and keep the Stampede from behind from getting around you. How were you able to get that done?
I don't know. I just feel really confident on those hard tyres. I never even thought about pitting, to be honest, because I kind of thought if I could keep Ryan behind somehow for like a lap or two, I might be able to keep him behind for the rest of the race, but I just couldn't put the power down after the safety car and chucked it in the fence, so yeah, whatever. PT is pretty good, 1-2 again, so happy with that.
Yeah, so you say you did about pitting, so it never crossed your mind that there was potential of getting held up by your teammate, or it was just always the plan to stay out?
No, because I feel like the hards are pretty good once you get them up to temperature, like pretty close to the soft pace for a few laps, so I didn't really see the point in pitting, but Ryan kind of had to, because it was kind of, if he didn't pit, then everyone else probably would have, as he said, and then he would have been fucked. So, I mean, buggered. So, yeah, so, yeah, but I didn't really have anything to lose, so I thought I'd just stay out and try and keep him behind, but yeah, couldn't do it.
Yeah, of course. Well, something I think John and I both have the same question of involves qualifying here tonight. We saw you make an 8-lap run on softs in qualifying, treating it like a practice session. What was that all about?
I couldn't decide what strategy I wanted to do. I was talking to Ryan before the race, and he wasn't sure either, but then I decided to go with the medium to hard, and then I saw him go soft to hard, so that kind of worked out, because I was trying to offset my strategy from his, so yeah, kind of worked out.
All right, cool. Well, as we mentioned, it's going to be the Streets of Monaco next week from BRL. What can we expect out of your pace next time by?
I don't know, a win hopefully.
Of course. Well, congrats on the podium here tonight. It's good to see you up top. I assume you're thing now, as you weren't a season. It's been a good run here tonight for you. Second place. Congrats once again. We'll see you next week from Monaco.
Jeez.
Place rounding out the podium here tonight. I think this is the second time this season we've had a crazy podium finisher like this, coming from dead last to third. Driver of the day, Alan Hugo. How were we able to get that done, man?
I don't know. Yeah, no practice. Had pretty good pace somehow. Like Jared said, the heart properly good. Once, like towards the end of the race on low fuel, they're pretty much as good, if not better than the softs. Especially when the softs, where you could see Jared and I were catching Ryan a little bit just towards the end, with like 3 laps or so to go. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Yeah, well, I remember a season ago you were saying you were doing some intentional last to first challenges. Were you?
Well, honestly, I actually tried to qualify, but I fucked both my. Sorry, I messed up both of my laps.
Bro.
I messed up both of my laps. But yeah. It would have been nice to put the car up the front of the grid, or further up the grid. But pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, next week, once again, it's Monaco. I think you're a wheel user. I don't remember that entirely correctly. But
Yes.
How's it going to be next week? Yes, you are. Cool. So I think you might be excited for that one a little bit then.
Yeah. I haven't driven on like on this game yet, so yeah. I've always loved Monaco, so it should be good.
All right. Well, congrats on your podium here tonight. Certainly driver of the day worthy. 17th all the way to 3rd, so congrats on that. Gamble paid off. So have a good one. Have a good week. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
So that will do it here tonight from Barcelona, Catalonia. That was a pretty good Grand Prix, if you ask me. Why don't you just carry us out here with your words of wisdom?
Man, what an honor here. Danny, I'd love to shout out the Breakout Racing League has multiple tiers we run all week. Next tier to go would be tier 4, or excuse me, tier 3. It is at Monday night at 7:30. The Jonathan Webster. I commentate tier 4 at 10 o'clock. No, 9:30. 9:30.
All right, I think you're done.
On Monday nights, it is a fantastic. We've gotten a lot of viewers lately, and it's some great drama. Better to do, even though Monday Night Football is on. So I will be trying to get out of that, but tonight was a fantastic race here at Spain, back in the Tier 1 commentator booth. I really haven't been able to say that too often, but I love to say it when I can. Alongside Daniel Stevens. Danny, back over to you.
Yeah, well, I think that's all we need to hear before we carry this thing out. Just once again, make sure to come back 1 week from today, 10 p.m. once again Eastern, from the Circuit de Monaco, one that many people fear and many people love. Once again, Daniel Stevens alongside Jonathan Webster. This has been round 6, the Spanish Grand Prix from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. Hope you have a good week, and we hope to see you next week from Monaco. Take care.
Word.